Jurgen Klopps saying that Liverpool are there to fight for their dream. Could it be a reality? Could they be in the Champions League final?
Yeah, I think they've played excellent football up to this point. I thought they were scintillating in the first leg, and obviously the 2 goals put a little bit of a dampener on it, but not for me, especially the way the goals were conceded. I think that could be rectified. I feel that obviously you need to concentrate at this level right until the death. And you know, you're talking about someone like Dzeko, you know what I mean? I think Lovren took his eye off him for a fraction of a second. You know, it was a great ball to him, and he finished it, and then they got the penalty. But I think that the way Liverpool attacked that game, the first 5 goals, and you know, I think if Salah stayed on, he probably would have got another couple the way he was playing. But I feel they should be going there with a lot of confidence. I feel that you're listening to Jurgen Klopp there, and he has to say what he's saying. He has to remain positive, and he has to err on the side of caution, because you don't want to take it for granted. But 3-0, and with what Liverpool have got going forward, should be enough.
Is concentration going to be the main problem and focus because they have that 5-2 advantage?
Oh, massive. I think it's an important part of it. You know, as Wright said, they, you know, last 8 minutes they conceded the 2 goals, which was 2 not great goals that you wanted to concede, but they concede them. But what I have to be careful of psychologically is they've done it before, Roma. They've done it to Barcelona, and they've done it to Chelsea. They beat Chelsea 3-0 and beat Barcelona 3-0. So they're capable, you know, so... but I don't think they would have come up against the 3 form players that they have at the moment, Liverpool, Salah and Firmino and Mane. Yeah. You know, so that's what they've got coming to them. And I think they've realised that they are 3 dangerous players that is capable of scoring goals. And I think they can go there and actually score. They just got to keep their concentration level really, really high, because what they don't want to concede is early, because that will make them panic. They had a little bit of a time when they conceded the first goal at Anfield, where you see a little bit of panic going. And then they scored a second, and you see even more, and you think, oh, you want this game now to finish, because you're expecting, don't get another one, because you will really panic then when you go to Rome. So, no, but I still look, I look at the way that they performed all the way through this tournament. I look at the way that they performed against Man City, was absolutely fantastic, and the way they performed against Rome as well. And they deserved, as Klopp said, they deserve to be in this situation, they really do. And I think they're going to go through, and I'm excited about them going through, because it's an English team. I want an English team to win it. And I look at the game, obviously, tonight with Real Madrid and Bayern, and I think it's going to be an interesting game for Liverpool if they can get through, because I watched how open Real Madrid was at times, and I think they can really get at Real Madrid, and I think they can be compact when they need to be compact, Liverpool.
They've got that game tomorrow night, though, first. Yes. And with the way that Roma played in the last 10 minutes or so of the game at Anfield, is that more what Liverpool can expect when they go to Stadio Olimpico?
Yeah, I suppose...
They can't play like they did for the 80 minutes of the first
and of course
leg.
they're going to be a totally different team. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable there. It's going to be quite intimidating, and I think that, I don't know, cool heads are needed. You know, Liverpool have got to know exactly what they've going to expect. You know, Roma, like you said, they're wisely, they've done it before. They've come back against teams, proper teams as well. And, you know, Liverpool will be expecting that. At the same time, you know, Roma know that, you know, you'd have thought they hadn't watched Salah, and the way, the space he was getting. So what's going to change in the way that they're going to deal with Mo Salah when they've got to try and get forward and get goals against Liverpool? Mo Salah's still going to have time and space.
At the present time can deal with it.
Exactly.
I really don't. You've seen some of the goals that he actually scores, and he's quite frightening. And the one that he just checks inside, and you know he's going to check inside, but he still bends it in the top corner. And they know what he's about, but you know, as you say, they can't stop him. And look, I look at the game, and I think Liverpool will go through. I'm hoping Liverpool will go through. I think it's such an exciting time, and the way that they're playing, they're so exciting.
But the thing about it is, Dennis, it's not even just, okay, we know how well the front 3 are playing, but Trent Alexander and Andy Robertson at the back.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
2 young boys come through.
Playing excellently. You know, James Milner playing brilliantly. A game that I think they've got enough experience and enough savvy now and enough quality where, yes, they've got to go, and I think they've just got to deal with the situation. You know, they've got to deal with the situation and then let their football get on with it.
if they are going to be vulnerable against Roma, it's what we said ahead of the first leg, really, which is that with someone like Dzeko, do they then target maybe Dejan Lovren if Virgil van Dijk is the other option at that centre-back? Well,
I think if you're going to choose one of the weak links out of the centre halves, it's going to be Lovren. So he's the one that I would say Dzeko will spend a lot of time on, and it's just about covering him. You know, he just got caught in no man's land, didn't he, for the goal where he should have really stepped up and he didn't step up. You know, his decision was then I'll drop, and it shouldn't have been. He should have been brave enough to hold the line and step him up, and then Dzeko's offside. So I think, yes, that'd be one that they'll think that they can get in on, and I think they'll play more balls this side and try to get him in on the back of Lovren than they will Van Dijk.
I'll tell you what as well, Kels, I watched Liverpool's defending of set pieces against West Brom, and it wasn't something to be desired, if I'm going to be totally honest. And it's something that people they're going to have to pick up the right people. Like for me, Van Dijk.
There were sort of changes in the back four for that game.
There were, but at the same time, Lovren was on the pitch and Van Dijk was on the pitch, and I've got to say it was a great ball in from Brunt and that, but it was such poor defending. People like Firmino was marking Rondon, and you know there was people at the back of the penalty box not marking anyone. Van Dijk was marking somebody that didn't actually even go into the box. I think that these are the things that Roma could possibly target, because there seems to be a lack of communication at Liverpool in those situations, and I think that they will probably will know this by now, and so that is what I worry for Liverpool. That's the only thing I worry about is set pieces.
I think you've got to look at Henderson as well, because he needs to play an important part. He really does, because he is a leader of that kind of group, and he's the one that needs to organise. And I think sometimes he's an unsung hero. He sits in there and he lets the others play, and also Milner is another one as well. And I think them two are going to, if they obviously they start, them two are going to play an important part, I think, tomorrow, as in understanding it, because they're the experienced ones that are going to sit in the middle and dictate and try to help. And I think they need to organise quickly then, because they're the type of personnel I get the feeling can do it. And I think tomorrow, a little bit of onus will be on them to organise things and get it done quickly.
Yeah.
When you talk about the organisation and how important that would be, the man, Željko Buvac, who was is Jurgen Klopp's assistant, still is Jurgen Klopp's assistant, but has been... it will not be there between now and the end of the season. We'll come on to possible places where he could end up in just a second. But without him there, if he's the man who's known as the brains of Klopp's backroom staff, will that have an effect, given that it's happened this close to the match?
Well, when you consider that he's been with him for, what, 17 years? You know, it's a long time to have somebody so familiar around you, and obviously familiar around the dressing room and the lads. And for him to not be there, and he's having to leave at this time, I'd say arguably, when you look at the finals, how many finals has Klopp lost now? Is it
5 in a row?
Lost 5 in a row. To lose the brains, so they say, at this stage, it's it can't be great. You know, I don't know how he's going about making sure that he can fill that void. But, you know, to lose somebody like that this time, it just seems the timing's not very good.
Yeah,
for me,
it's bad timing, wasn't it?
It's terrible timing. And it's, as close as they've been, you'd have thought that whatever's happened, can it be so bad that you leave at this stage of the season, at this crunch game? Couldn't he wait to see, at least wait until you after this game, and even if you're in the final, you can deal with it because there's some lead-up time. It seems a very strange time for this to happen.
We've talked almost like a manager in a press conference here by talking about all the positives as far as Roma are concerned, all the possible pitfalls for Liverpool. They're in a Champions League semi-final second leg with a 5-2 advantage. Yeah. You couldn't have expected either Liverpool or Roma really at the start of the competition to be at this stage. Can they enjoy it? If you're the players won't be allowed to. The players will have to focus. But if you're a Liverpool fan approaching this game,
you enjoy it when you get to past the semi-final stage and you know you're coming to a final. You enjoy the winning of the game. You actually don't enjoy the actual beforehand bit. You're looking forward to it. So the adrenaline's going, nerves are inside, and if you haven't got nerves inside of you, it's nothing. It's not correct. You walk into that and you know you're nervous because you want to get everything correct and you want to do things right for your team and not be the one that makes any mistakes. You want to make sure you get it spot on. So they'll be inside a little bit nervous, tingly, or whatever you want. Those butterfly situations, right? You know, we've all been there. So, but they'll be looking forward to it, but we can't enjoy it yet because there's nothing to enjoy because only halfway there and it ain't there yet. So they've got to focus on what they've got to do.
The only thing for me, Wise Ian Wright, is the 2 goals has made Liverpool, and we saw it with the fans even in the stadium and the play. It's just made them a bit apprehensive.
It's made a game of it, right, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know?
What's got to happen is they'll go out there, and what they've got to understand is that what they've done for that first 80 minutes against Roma. What do you think, that Roma are thinking, are blanking that? They know what Roma know what Liverpool can do to them. And so, like you mentioned there, if it is Henderson and it is Milner who's going to stay and protect, they've got 3 players who can, once they get the ball and they've got the pace to go that way, Roma will be just as frightened as Liverpool are because they've got to do something. Liverpool can just play their game and let the boys up front get on with it. And at the moment, you've got arguably one of the best strikers in Europe, you know, to finish them off. I'm totally confident in Liverpool.
I think the way
that
they're 5-2 up and the way that the game's going to pan itself out, I think, to be honest, Liverpool will be... this really suits them. The reason why is because they don't need to go right out and have a go at them. They can play what they want to play, or they can press and like they pressed against Man City and really try to go for it. But I think they'll have a certain distance where they go, right, come on in, I'm to this
Liverpool
distance.
good at doing that?
To a certain distance,
yeah.
right. Only a certain distance. I'm not talking right back. I'm talking 10 yards into the opposition's half, you know, to there, and then to go. If they want to go right up, they can go right up. You know, they've done it well against Man City. But maybe to 10 yards into Roma's half, you know, and where they sit and go, OK, I'm going to wait for you and then we're going to try and catch you. Not that far, no. I think this far,
can't invite pressure.
No, and I think they can afford to do that for a period of time if they wanted to do that. Or they go, as Liverpool have done, they totally go out and have a go. If they have a go, then they know that sometimes when you have a go, you can be slightly vulnerable and things can come against you. So
I think Liverpool can score out there. So as long as Liverpool...
Even though no one else has in the Champions League so far this season?
I'm not sure they've come up against, you know, people say they beat Barcelona and yes, Messi was in there, but yes, Messi was in there. He didn't have a particularly good night and the people around him didn't play particularly well neither. You've got, in Liverpool, you've got 3 players literally at the top of their game playing consistent, brilliant football for the whole of the season, and I'm not sure if Roma have come up against that yet. They came up against it in the first leg, and of course it was at Anfield and it was amazing. But I don't think they've come up against that at the Stadio, the Olympic host. So we'll see. We will see it. It's finally poised.
It is finally poised. Is probably pushing it a little bit with a 5-2 advantage. But as we've talked about, there are pitfalls to be aware of. So whether it's Liverpool or Roma, what we do know for definite is that they will be facing Real Madrid in the Champions League final in Kiev on the 26th of May. Zinedine Zidane and Real Madrid reaching their 3rd consecutive Champions League final. First man since Marcello Lippi in the late 90s to reach 3 successive Champions League finals. Did they look like European royalty, as they are, in that draw against Bayern and that aggregate win over them?
No. You know, it's such an open game. And I think a mistake, and he's going to have nightmares, isn't he, the goalkeeper, Jurgen, and how he just conceded the goal. I think, bless him. It was a proper Rick, wasn't it, really?
Major.
And that's really cost him tonight. It has, and he'll have to... That'll be on his mind for a long, long time. But you know what? The game was so open, and I mean so open, and at any time you could see Bayern getting the result, and they were so close in so many opportunities, but they just got the luck on their side, to be honest, Real Madrid tonight, in certain parts of the game. Right even towards the end of the game when they put the last ball in and they're in and you can't reach it. You know, so it kind of fell for them quite nicely. I think I look at that, and if Liverpool can get through this, I can actually see Liverpool beating Real Madrid just in the openness that they were. And I just do. I know they have a lot of quality. Real Madrid, as in the older players that now that they are getting older. Ramos is getting older. Ronaldo's getting older. They're all starting to get. Modric's getting older. So they're all starting to get a little bit older. So they may be after this time. There may be changes at Real Madrid because I don't think they can go through a whole season the way that they've gone at the age that they're coming to now. I just think, come on, Liverpool, get through. Because I just think, after watching Real Madrid tonight, I think to myself, you have got a chance, guys, against this. You must look at that and you must think, I have a chance against it.
Bayern Munich will look back at that and they'll probably be kicking themselves. Because it was mistakes. They did have the legs on them. At the end there, they threw everything in there, and I think Madrid, they kind of rode their luck. I don't think it's the kind of, if Liverpool get through, it's the kind of pressure that Liverpool put them in because they were throwing balls in the box. And I think that Liverpool will give their team more of a run around, and they looked to me like they were hanging on. And I feel that Liverpool could probably do the same to them in respect of blasting them early, not knowing what's hit them. And then you have to hope that, I don't know, Real Madrid have to hope that Ronaldo didn't have a great game again tonight, I think.
So, right, we was looking at that, right?
Yeah.
There was, at some stage, there was 6 Real Madrid players in Bayern's box, and there was 4 back here. And we were saying, there was no one really in the middle, and you're thinking, what kind of game is this game? It was bizarre for for us to watch it, you know, to see how they had played, and it was just so open. And I was kind of a little bit gobsmacked that this is the semi-finals at the Champions League, and everything was so open.
So open. That Liverpool, if they do that with Liverpool, and Liverpool 2 passes, bang, they're right into their last third, and then that is the problem that Real Madrid will have. Like I say, fingers crossed Liverpool can get there. So I saw a lot of stuff tonight where, like I say, Bayern Munich were kicking themselves because they should have won the game. But I would, if I'm Liverpool, I wouldn't have been bothered either of them two.
Except that with Real Madrid, you're saying both of you that they rode their luck slightly tonight. There was the late penalty that was given. It was Juventus, a penalty, but against Juventus, they have had these moments throughout the Champions League. Is there something in them? And they, you know, potentially could win their 3rd Champions League under Zidane. Is there something about them being Real Madrid? And even if the players are getting older, that's experience, that there is this history with the Champions League for them.
Yeah, well, you know, we know back in the 50s and the 60s, we know how many times they won it, like 5 or 6 times. They have got a genuine, like, mystical hold over the Champions League or the European Cup, whatever you want, whatever it was called back then. But I just think that now they're needing those little bits of luck. And things like that. You know, they're using their experience. You see, look at Ramos today. You know, he's gone in the box, he's gone down, trying to get using the experience, because now they know that they're at their end partner. Exactly. That's where they are. So it's the experience of going through what they've been through up to this point is what, for me, has got them there to this point. Yes, they've won, and Cristiano Ronaldo has scored a load of goals again in the Champions League. But I think that they are running out of steam in respect of...
They'll have an advantage. The reason why, because they've been there. And that's the experience of being there. So they'll be a little bit more probably relaxed than Liverpool if they get through, which I'm expecting them to get through. You know, I don't want to bock them because I really do want them to get through.
They'll be petrified. If Liverpool get through, Real Madrid will be petrified to play against Liverpool.
I think they will as well. I think the 3 up front will... I watched that back 4 and I think they will really hurt them back 4.